What's up you guys, it's Martin here, and as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be reacting to my final exam marks for my first term at university. So some things about me before I start is that I come from a pretty academically competitive high school, and I did pretty well. So going into university, I had some very high expectations for myself, and honestly with what's happened in the first term, it wasn't really realistic for me, because so basically I got emails that my marks have come out, and right now I'm just gonna go check them. First term I thought that I didn't do as well as I should have, because I think I'm still adapting to the university atmosphere and everything it entails, and I think I picked up quite a few bad habits on the way, and I think that my final marks are less than desirable, but I've come up with ways to improve that for the next term, and I'll share those with you guys at the end of the video. So here we go. I'm just gonna check my marks and hope they turned out okay. Okay, so the first mark I'm going to check is chemistry, because that's the one I'm pretty sure I did the best on. So basically this exam was worth 35% of my mark, and I'm pretty sure I did well because I studied chemistry a lot and I didn't actually skip any classes. Actually, besides that one class. But that's just one class. I don't think I really guessed many of the questions in the exam, and I thought I was pretty confident with how I did. My pre-exam mark was 98%. So let's see how we did. Okay, didn't do as well as my average, but I'll take that, no complaints here. Next comes physics. So keep in mind, I didn't take grade 12 physics in high school. The professor talks about himself more than he talks about physics, so don't think it went too well. I just kind of guessed. And it was worth 38%, and my mark before the exam was around 87 because labs were carrying me very, very hard. So, let's see. Oh. A 73. I mean, that's probably one of the worst marks I've gotten in a very, very long time, but I think with the amount of work I put into the course, I can't really complain that I got that. And besides, final mark is 82, which is 3.7. It's not that bad. I don't think I'm really upset with that, so I'm gonna move on. Now the next one is calculus, and this one, oh, let me tell you, same thing as physics. I didn't really go to class, and I was not really confident with how I wrote the exam, and it was worth 50%. So yeah, that's something. I think pre-exam mark was 93, but I think how I did in the exam wouldn't really tank the mark too hard, but we'll see. Hold up. I don't think I've gotten such a low mark ever. That's a new record. Just now physics was the worst exam I've ever written. But yeah, this takes the cake. Alright, so one of my friends just told me the bio final came out, so I'm just gonna go check that right now. Okay, so for the bio final, I think I did pretty well, and my pre-exam mark was 93 or something like that. So yeah, and bio was one of my best subject because I did really well on it during high school, and I actually liked the subject a lot. So here we go. Okay. So on a multiple choice section, I got like 92.9, so it's pretty good. But on the short answer, I got 76%, so I averaged out to around 86%. So my final mark is 92. It's pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I didn't expect to do that poorly on the short answer part, but the multiple choice was good. So that kind of saved my GPA. Now it's an average of 3.85 for this term. I can't be too sad about these marks because I just have to accept it. Like, I don't know why I'm so calm right now, but there's still psychology to check, but that's a full year course, so its final marks are not determined yet. I'll make a follow-up video for my final exam marks for next term and see how I did in this year. So yeah. So my plan of attack for next term is quite simple, and the first thing I'm going to do is limit my distractions. Coming into this term, I wasn't really that into social media, but when you are meeting all these new people and you're trying to get to know them better, you just become a little bit more active on these social media sites, and it cuts into a lot of the time that you would spend on studying normally. Also, another thing is, coming to university, I wasn't really looking to get into a relationship, but one thing led to another and things happened really fast. I got into one, and then right before exam season, we broke up, and that basically became a major distraction in my academic life. So I should just remember to focus on my goal of achieving a high academic standing and limit distractions, such as limiting my use of social media and trying to refocus on my goal that I set for myself before going into university. The second thing I should do is to work consistently over the semester. By that I mean not cramming. I find that this will be very effective because if I study just a little bit every day, it will add up just like compound interest. It will amount to a great amount of confidence in my subjects, and I feel like that would make it a lot easier come exam time. So I'm not trying to vigorously cram the information into my head, praying that it sticks. And the third thing I should do is to not just study the things that I like or know, because as you can see from my biology and chemistry marks, I put a lot more time into studying those subjects even though I felt like I knew it already. So what I'm trying to say here is that I feel like I could have not put as much time into it and still got a pretty good mark, and instead use some of that time into the things that I don't really like or I'm not that familiar with, such as physics and calculus, which I feel like it needed a lot more attention for me to actually do better in, considering I didn't go to class. And on a separate note, I don't think skipping class was the problem. Not self-studying as much as I should have was the real problem here. Because I really could have used the time that I got from skipping class to really get ahead, because like the professors don't really teach at a very fast pace. Because I feel like if I studied on my own, I could get ahead of the class, but I spent that time studying for the subjects that I liked just because it felt natural or more fun. I should prioritize studying the things that I don't know instead, and I think that would be a more effective use of my time going forward. And the next thing that I feel like I should do is to enjoy the grind and not view it as a chore. I think that will make it a lot easier for me to just stay motivated and pursue my goals instead of feel like I'm missing out by studying all the time. And the last thing is basically to just keep reflecting on myself, and this is a really important thing because your plans are not always perfect and they always need to be revised in order for you to be adaptable. One plan that you make today is not going to be the same going forward. Things happen and you need to change it up a little if things don't work out the way that you thought they would. I hope that my takeaways from this term helped you produce your own plan of attack for your next term. Oh yeah, and one final note is that in university you don't really have to get a 4.0. It's just that I set very high expectations for myself. Oh yeah, and one final note is that in university you don't really have to get perfect grades and everything. A 4.0 doesn't make you any better of a person than someone with a lower grade. It's just that I hold myself to high expectations and I believe I can achieve that grade. Through my first term, I discovered that it's not really about how well you do, but it's basically how you do relative to the people in your program. So what I'm trying to say is that don't feel bad that you didn't achieve your ideal results. Just do your best and live with the results. Now thank you guys for watching. Smash that like button and hit subscribe to see more. It really helps out my channel because I'm just starting out. Thanks. I hope you learned something from my takeaways from this term. And if you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, comment anything down below and I'll try my best to reply. Alright, see you guys in the next one.